The 1930 Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act in the United States was not only a lethal poison that worsened the Great Depression but also a direct catalyst that pushed the world toward fascism and total war. Although the 1929 economic crisis created fertile ground for extremism, it was the global trade war launched by the U.S. in the name of protectionism that truly ignited the powder keg. After the U.S. stock market crash in 1929, American politicians blamed the crisis on foreign dumping. In June 1930, President Hoover signed the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, raising tariffs on 20,000 imported goods by an average of 59%, with some rates exceeding 100%. This decision completely shattered the global economy. Countries like Canada, the UK, Germany, and France raised tariffs on U.S. goods to 30% to 400% within a few months. Between 1929 and 1933, global trade fell by 66%, and U.S. exports dropped sharply from $5.4 billion to $1.6 billion. Countries in distress began to embrace a beggar-thy-neighbor survival logic. Germany shifted to Nazi self-sufficiency, Japan accelerated militaristic expansion, and Italy embraced fascist economic control. When the U.S. tried to build a wall of tariffs to protect itself, what it actually destroyed was the international cooperation that maintained peace. The toxic mist of economic nationalism allowed fascism to rise to the stage of history as a savior. In 1930, Germany's unemployment rate surged to 22% due to the collapse of exports, and the Nazi Party's seats in the election skyrocketed from 12 to 107. After the U.S. imposed a 90% tariff on raw silk, Japan's export income halved, and the military called for opening markets with guns and cannons. The trade war led to the collapse of the lira, and Mussolini seized the opportunity to take full control of the economy, declaring that parliamentary democracy is dead. Without this tariff war, the Weimar Republic might not have been driven to appoint Hitler as chancellor in desperation, and Japan's militaristic factions might not have been able to so easily hijack the state apparatus. Hoover's and Trump's operations are eerily similar. Hoover proclaimed, "Prosperity for America again," and Trump shouted, "Make America great again." Both blamed economic difficulties on foreign plunder, imposing indiscriminate tariffs on the world, with tariffs on China reaching 25% in 2018. The risks are similar, destroying the global division of labor, forcing countries to seek camp-based confrontation, just as the 1930s gave rise to fascist blocs, today could fuel new Cold War factions. The core difference is that the global economy today is far more interconnected than in the 1930s, and a full-scale trade war would have even more devastating global consequences. At the Bretton Woods Conference in 1944, the U.S. buried the isolationism represented by the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act because the world had proven with 60 million lives that economic nationalism is not a cure but a breeding ground for war. If humanity fails to learn this lesson, the noose of history will tighten once again.